Guys, Garrett again. I'm working on a Turbo 400 transmission now. It's a used unit I picked up in town for a buddy of mine who brought a Humvee over with a burn-up transmission and a blown-up motor. I won't get into how they did both, but it does happen. Anyway, I've got the transmission set up, and I wanted to show you how you can set them up easily to service them or work on them out of the vehicle if you don't have a transmission building bench or whatnot. So what I do is I just take an old 16-inch trailer rim that lug nuts loosened up on a buddy of mine's trailer and it ruined the rim, so he left the rim here and I make use of it. So you see, all I do is I set the tail shaft down through the center hole, and it's just the right size for the housing to fit on and have enough room that it's not going to fall off. Anyway, used transmission, set outside for who knows how many years. It's a Turbo 400. This one actually came out of a 1008 Cucv, but it's going in a Humvee. So the only real difference in them is that you've got to change the vacuum. Great, drawing a blank now. Anyway, you got to change that. I know what it's called, I just can't fucking remember right now. On the Humvee, it's cable actuated, and there's nothing internal that you have to change about it. I've got the pan off because it had some water in it, and I was checking to make sure it didn't damage the valve body or anything, and I figured I'd go ahead and service it, change the filter and the gasket and whatnot. But when you go to change this, say you're taking this out of a any other GM vehicle, it would work. A gasoline, older Chevy truck, or the 1008 Blazer, 1009 pickup, or vice versa. All you've got to do to change it is unbolt the one bolt that holds it in with the keeper and pull it out. And then you stick the cable-driven Humvee keeper in. Make sure it doesn't leak. You know, you want to run it down the road, get on the throttle hard, build full line pressure, and make sure there's no drips coming out of that when you get back, because sometimes you'll cut the O-ring on it putting it back in if you're not careful. Anyway, the other difference is sometimes the Humvees, they don't have a park call in them, because as you know, the 3-speed Humvees don't have a park selector section on the gear selector. So this one actually has the parking pawl in it back here still, and you can't really see it with the lighting, but trust me, it's there. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to take it apart and take that all out, because the range selector is the same between the Humvee and the other GM trucks. It just doesn't go all the way up to the next position that you'd have to be for park. So even if you leave the park pawl in here, you're never going to actually get to it. So there's nothing else you have to change to take any other Turbo 400 out and put it in a Humvee. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I was going for to explain. Even though it's 24 volts, you know, that solenoid is going to take only the voltage it wants. The other thing I did is change the pump seal in this thing, so he doesn't put it all together and end up blowing the pump seal in a 500 or 1,000 miles. Gonna reuse the old pan off of the Humvee because it's got a drain plug, whereas the Cucv pan does not have a drain plug. You see the condition of his filter. It had just enough water in it sitting in the pan to cover that filter, but not enough to damage the valve body, so I'm happy about that. I've checked it out and run it through the range selectors. All the valves are free, so I don't think it's going to give them any problems, and if it does, these transmissions can be rebuilt for about $300. So anyway, just wanted to show you guys that and tell you a little bit about these things in case your transmissions are completely foreign to you. You've never had a pan off it's just interesting to see what's actually in there. I've been doing transmissions for more than a decade now, so this is nothing new to me. I can do quite a bit more than this, but it's just a cursory check for peace of mind. Anyway, appreciate you watching. If you haven't, I'd appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. It definitely helped me out trying to get the channel to grow. So we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.